Warframe, all Prime trailers, cinematic compilation. This is by PlayWarframe, obviously. I ended up finding a compilation on WildFenrir's channel. Without further ado, let's get into some of these trailers.
Margulis, from your winter ashes, there has sprung a field of flowers. Conceived by me, germinated for deadly purpose. You used to dream of old Earth, didn't you? Bathed in gold and solemn blue. I intend to reclaim it now from the spores and the ruin. It came to me like a proverb. Fight poison with poison.
I like the Ballas.
Cure
like
this sick horde with the greatest of plagues. I will call her Siren.
Huh. Okay. So I actually haven't played most of the frames in this game. I mean, I main Necros. Went out to Lava. Lavas was pretty fun. I mean, I haven't played easily half the frames in this game. So learning some of the background lore from their trailers is actually kind of cool. So Ballas seemed to have a hand in Saren. That's actually super cool.
Lust was my sin.
Huh.
But greed is the blight that weakens our steel. These industrialists have gorged on the harvest of our long war.
Is this Protea? Who is
Their
this?
mine drones. Their mechanizations toil in foundries remote. For what purpose? We must set watch upon them,
I don't know this frame.
baiting our snares with the worms of profit.
Very cool animation. Okay, he's got to suspend. Uh-huh.
Those kneeling at the altar of commerce will be returned to the void.
Such a cool little boa, dude.
For your consideration,
Okay.
Vorban.
Oh, yeah, I haven't played him at all. What a cool trailer, though. So, okay. So, I noticed on the Saren one, they looked like it was missing some frames. I don't know if that's specifically the video file. I don't know if that's, say, animation of the day. I'm not sure if that's the actual original video file or if that's just from the re-upload. Very cool, though. Very awesome. I did like that. Okay, so Ballas I mean, obviously, lore implications, something, how Warframes are actually made. So it's not necessarily that Saren was a favorite by him. It's just that Ballas seems to be the narrator throughout. It's also going to be interesting going back to some of these trailers as well. I can't wait to get to Chroma, because I know for a fact Chroma changed from what he used to be. It's that you can cycle through now. You're not necessarily stuck into whatever your color is. You can actually cycle through now. Even though his one is kind of, I haven't really found a good use for his one, if I'm being completely honest, aside from just swapping elements. But like, I wonder if I'm going to run into a trailer interaction where a skill is showcased, but the ability is either different or gone now. I always love looking retroactively back at things like this. It's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh, where you're just like, oh yeah, what did Crush Card Virus do? And you look at it and it's had been like errated like 3 or 4 times since it released. It's the history, so to speak.
Fear is a weed snaking in the dark. It vines within the mind, corrupting it.
Is this Severgolf?
It germinates within tribes, dividing them. Your graces, we who are beyond death, have forgotten the simple power of fear. Let us now remember.
No, this is Necros. Wow, okay.
You will find no greater power than the simple thought of your own name inscribed upon a grave. Our harbinger, our terror, Necros.
I actually don't know what sword that is. I thought that Necros, the Necros bundle, at least on the store, I thought that came with a scythe skin. Maybe that was Reaper Prime. I don't remember. I don't know what sword that is. That was a cold AF trailer. I actually really love that. As somebody who, I can't even say main at this point because most of my steel path runs at this point have just been Ash. I don't know. There's something just so like, it's not playing Stalker. It's because Stalker's different. His 4 is very different. But like, I don't know, just very Nadaruk, Ash. I go in Vizzy camo and just absolutely just hit everything for slash damage. I mean, that's been most of my steel path at this point. I got to go actually invest more into Necros at this point. I need to actually take some time and actually play him again. He's very cool, though. I love Necros.
These like-faced savages, these earth-worn mules, a vast, violent ocean at our command.
Is this Hydroid?
Yet they wither. Mired in mass steel and flesh, casting these hordes from gene molds and flock mines, we inspire nothing. Our demons of Void Womb must be different, unusual, singular. Crafted without cast, wrought of the finest ore, slender and queer.
Who is this? It's not Wukong, is it? I don't know who this is. No, this isn't Wukong.
Sight without eye, wrath without sound. Not a soldier, but a myth. Not a warrior, a spirit. Banshee.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if I've ever actually been in a lobby with a Banshee. I'm sure I have. I don't remember them, though. I completely forgot Banshee was a frame. Very cool, though.
Our long, deathless winter has left us numb. Our wasted animal within, ugly and gaunt, hibernates beneath our shimmering beauty. Why do these warframes stir us so?
Good shot.
They burn with our lost desires, lost instincts. Tenno tamed, but only just. Cursed and hunted as game.
Is this Inaros? No, not
Trapped and
Inaros.
tortured. Yet they remain
This can't be Ibarra.
animals.
Like the claw.
Less than their human seed, gnawing their limbs from the snare, devouring a banquet of suffering, obese with heat and acid and rage.
I feel like I know what this frame is. Is this Garuda? He's become so angry. Got it. I really like
That is why they will destroy us. Greed and denial will seduce.
I don't actually know which one that was. I know we didn't get a name on that one. It kind of broke the formula. I did like the detail in this one though. So when they were charging up the funny corpus machine, they had to they slotted it in and then turned it in a click. I mean, one of those things you could probably just omit. I actually really like the detail on that. It looked like when that thing powered up, it looked like one of the sentients, right? One of the mimics, right? A little bit when it started to charge up before it was firing the beam. Very cool. Rage, very cool with the corpus dropping his firearm, right? His hands slipping away from the grip and off the trigger. Very cool. I loved the detail on that one. I don't know which frame that is specifically.
Any destruction, even our own. We are blind to future consequence. Casting our debts on those to come. But what if now the Grey Mother sought revenge?
Shield bash, let's go! I don't know this one.
A brutal thorn.
No, I feel like I've seen this frame. I don't know enough about it,
Nursing
though.
the gushing ulcers of waste and industry. A new green sown upon sanguine ground. Fertilized with the blood and bone of its defilers.
I actually really like that shield. I actually really like that one. As somebody who is a huge fan of Sword and Ward. Oberon. Okay. I kind of mixed on Oberon. From what I understand, I think he got either power crept or there's just better frames right now. I know on the current Prime Resurgence, as of reacting to this, Necros and Oberon are back. And I obviously have Necros, but I don't have Oberon. I don't know. Like, I'm a fan of him for the sword and shield, especially if that's his like frame weapon, right? Like a Prime version of it. Like how what is it? Cedo Prime is Lavos is. Is the flame weapons, right? I don't know. That's super interesting, though. I'll have to dive into Oberon's balancing pros and cons, his shortcomings, etc. Because he looks really cool.
Oh, how you suffered to become this beast. Yet you laughed at me. Others writhed and raged in the vice. But you played
Mirage?
the fool. And so it was that you distorted my design.
There's the funny disco ball. Yeah,
A
Mirage is
sanguine
great.
trick. A murderous comedy. But no one is laughing anymore. Except you. The mere vapors of your life, shimmering still. Mirage.
Very cool. Very cool trailer for Mirage. I like the animation is very, very fluid there. Very, very cool on that one. Every time I see Mirage's duplicate trick, it always makes me think of, is it mirror image? What's the spell from Baldur's Gate 1? People go, oh, but we're delving back down memory lane. Remember, so I haven't actually finished it. I've gotten to Cobalt Mine a few times, but that's one of those I've been trying to stream for a number of years. I'll probably have a VOD up on the VOD channel going through Baldur's Gate 1 because I've been very much looking forward to it. My dad loved it. But when Gorion fights off against Saravok, right, how he'll cast like mirror image or something, there's like 6 copies of himself. That's what Mirage's ability reminds me of every single time. I know it's such a weird niche memory to bring up and like, oh yeah, this is this from Baldur's Gate 1. Yes, there was a Baldur's Gate 1. Yes, there was. And then there was Tales of the Sword Coast, which was the expansion. Baldur's Gate 2, Shadows of Amn, and then Throne of Bhaal. Oh my god. Yeah. Baldur's Gate has a storied history, let's put it that way. But yeah, that's what that reminds me of. The disco ball is also hilarious. Very cool. Okay. This is Wukong. Did Wukong only get a brief reveal, really? Interesting. Ooh, the frames are kind of chunky. I don't know if I know this one. In this one.
Fear is the greatest of faith.
Wait, did we just miss? Because it looked like Wukong had a very brief reveal, and then we went into whatever this one was. I don't know this one. I'm curious if this is still one, because it seems like this is a second one altogether. I don't know who that last frame was.
While our immortal vines have left us distant from our baser selves, consider our subjects.
Hi, Hydroid. Yeah, the underwater makes sense.
Those who gaze upon our cloud-swept towers with simmering, violent envy, they hold still the old fears. Depth and darkness. The windless embrace.
Ooh, I like that weapon.
We will give to fear a form and yet none. A vague hydra, a lobed monstrosity surging from the unfathomable. Reminding them who their gods are. Hydroid.
The irony that I actually just tried Hydroid for the first time today. So, because I got a base frame. I think I got it off of Duviri Normal last week, actually. And I tried him today. His kit's super intuitive. I actually really love him. I see why people like him. His 4 is just a giant CC, which you can increase the radius of. His 1, I feel like you subsume, right? Because it feels like you shoot a water projectile and it seems to bounce back and forth. But in terms of abilities that you would subsume, I would assume your 1 is what you'd probably subsume for something else. His 2 looks, as 2, if I remember correctly, is the dash, and his 3, I think, is the buff. gives you, it looked like, I didn't actually read what it did. It looked like it gave you armor and then something about corrosive damage potentially. I don't know if that was corrosive or it was the water symbol that he uses. But I know his one also makes everything wet as well. So I don't know what you'd assume off of his kit. I would assume it'd be his one. He's very cool. His kit is very intuitive. I tried picking up things like mag and I have to kind of like really look at them. Things like sight. I'm actually having to read sight a lot more because I actually did Steel Path Duviri Lone Story before this because I needed to, for a Nightwave bounty, I had to go get an Orworm kill on Steel Path. And man, I was invisible for like the entirety of the second Undercroft phase with sight. Like he was nutty. I picked up a couple of headshots that were like, God, one I think was like 31 mil. Got up to, I think, 90% crit because, dude, sight is so strange. Like, I want to put Rolling Guard on him so bad for sustainability, but at the same time, if I'm actually, like, because I think I run, like, Flow. I think I run, like, Hyper Energy on him. Like, dude just absolutely is just invisible the entire time and just popping heads. It's actually hilarious. Like, sight actually is really fun to play for me. But no, Hydroid's very intuitive. He's very one of those that I can kind of just like hit buttons and then intuit what he does. Certain other frames, I haven't been able to do that. There's been a couple where I don't quite understand. I think Hildrin is one of those that I don't really understand. She's been interesting to pick up.
We cast our shining child adrift on strange seas. For with time, these starless currents, black as morning, may work a sea change.
This almost looks like Deimos.
And if one grisly dawn the sky should hurl you, herald-like, back to earth, remind us, foundling, of what we immaculate ones have lost. What succulent richness disease's kiss may bring. My festering demigod. My Nidus.
Oh, this is Nidus. Okay. I've heard a lot about him, but I've never actually seen him in action. I know that Nidus has a, not necessarily a cult following. He definitely has a following, though. I'll have to pick him up at some point. As somebody who's a huge fan of Dead Space and Resident Evil, he looks really cool. So I assume he was released that looked like Deimos. So talking about removed content, right? Like realistically, the only thing, so there's a few things that are technically removed. One, we don't have Excalibur Prime. Well, most people don't have Excalibur Prime because that was your genuine like backer reward, right? Like before Warframe was Warframe, right? That's pretty fair. You have a couple, I mean, aside from like emblems and stuff, right? Like glyphs that are removed. Oh my God, I just had it. Not the relic sets. It's the, what Rhino has right now. I literally totally forgot the name of it. It hit the ornament set, right? I literally can't remember what the term is. I literally just said it earlier in a reaction. I totally forgot what it is now. Anyways, but like raids have been removed for obvious reasons, but Derelict was what Deimos used to be, if I understand that correctly. But it's technically not removed content because technically it's Deimos now, and Deimos came out in New War? But yet main story prog going through it. It's because Deimos is super early. That's why I was really confused. I'm like, this whole Heart of Deimos plot point, like this comes back in New War, right? I haven't seen it yet personally, and I'm about post 1999 at this point, going into the next one, which we just had the reveal on. I mean, this looks like Deimos. I could be wrong. It could be just some random ship. It might just be some random ship, honestly. I don't know. Like that's super interesting. I'll have to look at Nidus's kit. He looks really fun.
You have faced our worst. But one I have kept back to guard against enemies within.
What is this THX noise?
She has sent many weeping on their way. This skyborn bastion of the sagas.
I didn't know she could do that.
So hear me well, Hunhow. When you despoil the reservoir, spare only her.
No, this is Profit Taker?
My stalwart. My shield maiden. Hildrin.
Yeah, that was one of the orbs from Venus, right? Huh. Very cool, actually. So I'm assuming these are all sequential. So if he's talking about Hunhow and despoiling the reservoir, isn't that Second Dream? So that wouldn't be Deimos then, because I know we deal with the infected prior to Second Dream. It was actually super early. I remember having to do one of the side quests or whatever, and it was like I had to go to some Grineer facility, and they were something bioweapon, and that was your first introduction to the infected. So assuming this is sequential, that's probably just some random asteroid or something, right? That's not Deimos proper. It's really interesting going back and looking at these. I actually didn't know Hildrin could fly either. The thing that I like, and this is probably a dev build that they have, I'm noticing they're able to use like in-game movesets and stuff. Like it transitions from cutscene to what it looks like actual in-game footage. I've been trying to see, allegedly, there's a hotkey in Warframe that like kind of how Final Fantasy 14, you can just like scroll lock and it hides your UI. I guess there's a key or there's a setting somewhere to hide your UI, but I haven't been able to find it yet. It could also be that the internet is, everything. No. How dare I say the internet would have something incorrect? Obviously, if it's on the internet, it's true. My bad. I'm so sorry, chat. Very cool on Hildrin, though. I have to put some time into her. I don't quite understand her kit. Talking about intuitive, I think Hydroid was a little more intuitive than Hildrin. She's one I'm going to have to definitely spend some time with.
When ape pounded flint on flint, some watched the sparks. Others merely danced.
This is Octavia. Oh no.
Our haunted creations will need drumbeats to drown out the throb of Helminth blood. Songs to harmonize the long scream. Anthems to elevate their butchery.
Ooh, this is when bullet jumping is a thing now. Okay.
But
I saw that.
They are owed their struggle, as we are owed entertainment.
She hit the
Grand
gritty.
finale. Octavia.
I actually really like when they end with the name. I think it's very, very, it's very cool. Like obviously for me, but I think that it's just so identifying, and I think that it's the perfect capstone on these trailers. Like the Wukong one was pretty quick. I like when they do end with this is the Warframe. I didn't. So once they talk about sequentially, because I don't know when what was it, Zoran Copter? I don't know when coptering was a thing. I know that like bullet jumping wasn't always there as tech. So looking at Octavia's trailer, I did notice we didn't have any of the teabagging for the stealth. I did notice we didn't have that. But looking at it, it looked like we did have some bullet jump segments. The movement tech is more fluid at this point, so it's really interesting to kind of see the evolution of the game as it progresses. Wisp?
In languid dreams, a vision came of new heaven, new earth. I breathed life into its custodian. A subtle sprite to seed life. Yet, as I reached for my savage warden, she slipped from me. So now, I cast her in flesh. yours.
Her weapon looks
Let
good.
her be real. Incandescent.
Chaos Reach.
This fugitive form. This wisp.
Wisp is such an interesting frame. I tried out Wisp for a little bit. She's really floaty. I can't. I have trouble getting behind Wisp. Like she's good. I get it. I know it was talking about her augment where she can drop her 3 petals. How, yes, technically it is optional. Technically you could manually place all 3 of those to save a mod slot. Absolutely. Technically it does make Wisp better if we're talking talking about like combat, right? We're talking about like tempo, right? It is a faster tempo to just say, if you're like fighting with rapiers, right, to just thrust your rapier forward into somebody, right, versus somebody who's going to have to do a top right to bottom left strike, like a strike diagonally, right, and then have to pivot up for the stab, right? Like you have 2 motions, I guess 2.5 motions technically with the wrist pivot, right? You have 1 motion to 2 motions, right? So if you can close that every single time or the majority of the time with just that thrust, your tempo is faster than your opponent, therefore you're able to close that to close out the win faster. So when talking about game theory at this point, right? The faster tempo on Wisp to be able to get her petals off, I view as an absolute win. That being said, it is one of those things where if the faster tempo is not required, say it's a defense mission or whatever, you can omit that for a mod slot, like just another mod slot. It's been very cool. It's been very cool to like look at Wisp players and like, I guess from what I've heard, like the really good Wisp players really only play Wisp. Like Wisp is fantastic and kind of mesmerizing to watch actually work, but I don't think I'm a good Wisp pilot. Is this Kome? Who is
None
this?
of them truly understands how much I lost when I lost her. Nor by what subtle art my dead love now lives.
Yeah, because Kome's more recent.
Within another's gleaming skull. So tonight, we shall celebrate. In her honor and mine, I shall unveil a new creation, a harmony of mistress and monster. Predator. A deathless companion. Unsurpassed. Blood raw in whip, claw, and fang. Korra.
Okay, this is Korra. I hear a lot of people like Korra. I actually haven't seen Korra in action, if I'm being completely honest. That's why I thought it was Kome. But I'm like, no, Kome's way more recent. I'm curious because I feel like we're missing. So I don't know where frames like Mesa fall in, unless Mesa's going to be one of the probably 2 remaining at this point. Because like Mesa has a prime. We got Necros prime. Lavos I think is still too recent. Ureli is obviously too recent. I feel like we're missing quite a few primes, and this is supposed to be up to 2024. So I'm curious what gets the prime trailer treatment and what doesn't, or if there's just omissions on this one. This was the compilation that I saw, and I figured, hey, we'll go ahead and watch this. If I'm definitely missing some primes, I can see about doing pickups on those as I can. But like, it's been really cool to watch this just progress through.
Losing this war, you say? You whisper that my warframes are too genteel. Very well. Away with chivalry. Let us have monsters.
Hi, Grendel.
The roar of club and belly.
Oh my god, he just whacks.
Hunger and smoke. Beasts of cave and glut. I spread for you a cannibal feast. A toast to the valor of mere appetite. You tremble, but the drool is on your chins. For you birthed him in all his innocent obscenity. This is what you ordered. We are not done.
Hi, Goss.
Gourmet Grendel demands a gallant equal.
Yes.
Lightning to his gastric thunder.
It's just Ornstein and Smo.
Meteoric as messenger of long-forgotten gods. Between these two, the unspeakable and the inescapable, there must be no more talk of defeat.
Zoom. Okay. He didn't have to do that. He chose to do the spin.
For thankless eyes shall be seared blind in the heat of his passing.
I actually really liked how they flowed together. I like how the Grendel and Gauss flowed into each other. That was really cool, actually. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was super cool. As somebody who's tried Goss, I have no idea how to play him. He's one of those I'm definitely going to have to sit down there and I'm going to have to play him. I'm going to have to figure him out. He's very interesting. Grendel, I know I'm going to have to try him out at some point. I definitely got to level up base and I got to go subsume base because there's quite a few frames that actually do use his nourish. Grendel's good. But thank you everybody for watching. I really do appreciate this. I'll probably tag this as PlayWarframe, but obviously make sure to link as well WildFenrir's account here for putting such a compilation up, just making it super easy to get into this and not having to track it down. Now, obviously, there's not things like Volt Prime, Excalibur Prime for obvious reasons. Frost Prime, Mesa Prime. I'm assuming because they're either base or they're just, I don't know. As I said, I'm curious to know what dictates getting a Prime trailer, what doesn't dictate getting a Prime trailer, what was excluded, what was included, etc. I think it's super cool. I definitely have some appreciation, especially for just the progression of this game. Goss and Grendel is probably my favorite. I did thoroughly enjoy that. Thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you in the next one.